First off, it reaches super, super deep into this buy order zone right here that I've established. You can see where the ends meet right here. We've been talking about this flash crash in the month of May, and if you look at this chart, it seems to be indicating the 23rd of April. I do believe that we will see it hit this zone somewhere around that $3.33 to about 87-cent mark. Now this fair value gap here has filled. This fair value gap right here that formed back here got tapped into right here on the breakout, but has not completely filled. And even when they do fill, when they fill one direction, a lot of times you'll see them fill the opposite direction, because as above, so below, right? So since this was formed here, acted as a liquidity boost, we will also see the opposite as it comes through here. It'll gain momentum coming through here, most likely. Now, if we look at this chart on this particular pattern, if we go off of this top range right here, and we come down to the current price, the lowest low we've seen, you can see that it's not sitting at equilibrium. But if we go over here to the far left corner, where that low candle tapped into the liquidity, and we hit the bottom of that, it is sitting exactly at equilibrium. So it tapped into liquidity at exactly the bottom of this measurement up to the very top, and the middle point is sitting exactly at equilibrium. Isn't that absolutely incredible? Now look where that's laying. It's laying at the bottom of that fair value gap that has yet to be filled, and there's plenty of space down here for it to fill as well. Now think about that. If that's the low right there, looking at the previous pattern, as we saw right here, where it set this low, came up, then came back down, sweeping liquidity perfectly, it's probably pretty likely we're going to see that exact same thing in this chart up here. Now here is the previous equilibrium zone shooting through this area right here, which is below the lowest low set on this pattern. So if you look at this, it's very likely that even though this low has been set, not only is it going to come down and sweep that low, as it has been performing perfect patterns of taking out the lows and wiping the liquidity. So it's most likely going to do the same thing here. And all the liquidity that's resting right here, it's also going to come down here, wick through this fair value gap, come down even lower, hitting the equilibrium of the previous pattern right in this area here. But even then, it's still going to have a little bit of room here. So what makes sense now? This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible to look at, because you can look at a million charts and not see this. But SUI is exhibiting this absolutely perfect. And by looking at SUI and being able to understand what it's doing, it might help us to understand what's going to happen in the other ISO 222 tokens. The exact same way that the price came down right here, taking out all of the liquidity here, except for this small area where the market makers, the institutions, the hedge funds, the big dogs are sitting, right? If you look at this chart, if it goes through the equilibrium zone and comes down, we could see that exact same thing happen on that flash crash, which the only point of support on this chart would be right here at the bottom of this buy order zone. Right there. Boom. Now if you look at this, that is going to create a very unique opportunity, sweeping all the lows of this entire pattern and coming down and not sweeping the one area. This is where the market makers and the big dogs are at, right here. So they're not going to sweep that area. They're going to bring it right down to that point to where their positions are fine so they can continue to let them roll. But you are fucked. So if we see this flash crash in the month of April, as I have been predicting, I am absolutely going to set limit buy orders, stacking one right here at around the $3 level, one right here in the center at about 94 cents, and also I'm going to set one right here at 87 cents. I'm going to ladder 3 buy orders right down here, just in case this is correct. So if price does come down, a wick down here, I'm going to pick up some SUI. I want to show you something else. That date is the 23rd of April, 2025. So that is 4, 2, 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. So if you add 4 and 5 together, you get 9. 2025. 20 plus 25 is 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. So you get 99 on this date. Now watch this. Google Strong's H99. It says pool or pond. So we'll go to the root of the word, which is agam. So if you click on agam to see what the root of that word is, the meaning of it, the definition is pool, marsh, or pond. So we go to the primary root of that word, and it literally means standing water, or meaning to collect as water. And that's interesting because if you look at SUI, the symbol for SUI is a drop of water. Well, what does water indicate? What does it stand for metaphorically? What does wealth and money stand for? Liquidity. You go to the river banks. Now, I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, that it's working out to where the 99, the date adds up to this number, and then correlates with this particular meaning. But I find it very interesting, and I've had a lot of times where Spirit has led me to things that I still cannot explain, and when you talk about it, people think you're crazy. I think it's crazy, so of course they would think it's crazy. So looking at the SUI charts as they sit right now, this right here that we're seeing in the SUI chart that we're not seeing in any other ISO 222 chart could be telling us that we are going to see that flash crash or the lows, the pattern lows, somewhere around this buy zone that third week in April, possibly on the 23rd of April. Once that bottom is in, then we could see a fantastic move. And if you watched my liquidation video, you know that I think there's going to be a fake out. So I think what we're going to see is something like this, to where the price is going to come down here. We are then going to see a run here, something similar to this, to which then, when that flash crash comes, I believe what we will end up seeing is once this fake out, this bullish fake out occurs on the wave 5, correlating with the crypto total market cap being on wave 3, we will then see in the month of April the flash crash wick coming down to this buy order zone right here on the SUI candle. Then we will see the breakout after it has liquidated this entire pattern and everybody has lost their position. Then we will see the breakout that we have been waiting for to new all-time highs and price discovery. Isn't this incredible? So think about this for a minute. Think about what you're seeing. Think about how this chart could correlate right here with setting the time and date in April, heading into the breakout in May, that the XRP breakout chart has been indicating since December when the fair value gap formed. We're getting a little bit more information. We are going to see a false breakout. We are going to see a 6th wave. We are then going to break out on the 7th instead of the 5th, which will correlate with the 5th wave on the crypto total market cap chart. Then we will see paradise. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Do me a favor and hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Have a great day.